Japanese girl Megumi suddenly disappeared. By the time she was found by the villagers, she was already weak. There was not a single wound on her body. Doctors only found that she had anemia, but otherwise there was no problem. But only a few days later, the girl suddenly died. After that, several similar cases happened in the village one after another. Doctors only thought it was a new human-to-human virus, because the only thing these victims had in common was a mosquito-like bite mark on their bodies. There is also the fact that they all seem to have contact with the people of the mysterious castle in the village. But no one pointed the suspicion to the castle. If it's a new virus, it might be scary. Then how can dead people come back to life? Would this paranormal phenomenon be unacceptable? Natsuno witnessed this horrific paranormal phenomenon. His good friend Toru was bitten by the dead Megumi's neck with his teeth. At first he thought it was a dream, because when he woke up, there was no wound on Toru's neck. But Toru died a few days later. Natsuno had to believe that the image he saw that night was not a dream, so he planned to do an experiment to verify the reality of the dream. Because Megumi had a crush on Natsuno when she was alive, she always came to spy on him. Natsuno first took out a postcard sent by Megumi. He shredded the postcard and threw it under his window. The next day, Natsuno found that the pieces of the postcard were missing. He knew that Megumi was not dead. He didn't know why. And Toru did have brief contact with Tatsumi of the castle before developing symptoms. Now the doctor is completely distraught. What the hell is going on here? He tried to explain it scientifically and it didn't work at all. One by one, people were dying. He really broke down. His ugliness was seen by Natsuno. So Natsuno went to the doctor and asked, "Is Megumi really dead? I mean the dead kind, including the soul?" Natsuno didn't tell the doctor directly what he saw and heard, because no one would believe it. As expected, the doctor laughed out loud at Natsuno's question. What kind of bullshit question is that? Can you live without dying? To become a vampire or a zombie? That's right, that's what Natsuno wanted. The doctor also suddenly froze after he said that. The doctor thought of his good friend Muroi, who said, "These victims may have died unnaturally." The doctor also wondered if he was on the wrong track. Is it necessary to go beyond the scientific framework to unravel these mysteries? While the doctor was still trying to ask more questions, Natsuno had already left. Natsuno was not the only one who was also investigating this strange death. Megumi's best friend, Kaoru, was dragged to the castle by her brother Akira. The brother said he saw a dead villager enter the castle. He suspected that the castle was haunted. Akira doesn't know that they are being watched. Tatsumi of the castle was watching them from behind the trees. But fortunately Natsuno found the clue and quickly took Akira and the others away from this place of right and wrong. After listening to Akira's discovery, he decides to dig Megumi's grave. If Megumi is not dead, then the grave must be empty. Kaoru has no idea what's going on. He just thinks that his brother and Natsuno are crazy. Kaoru couldn't talk them out of it. In the end, he really pried open Megumi's grave, and as Natsuno guessed, the coffin was empty, and all the villagers witnessed Megumi being put into the coffin. While they were surprised, Kaoru was suddenly covered by a pair of hands and pulled into the forest. Then a mouth with fangs came at her neck. Fortunately, Natsuno arrives in time. They finally witnessed the appearance of a vampire. But to be more precise, they were rumored to be reanimated corpses. A dead person who comes back to life and retains his or her memories. But they weren't breathing. Their appearance is the same as that of a normal person. However, they cannot be exposed to the sun. Natsuno didn't dare to tell the villagers directly, so they dragged the reanimated corpse they thought was dead to Megumi's grave. They wanted to wait for someone to discover the difference. Unfortunately, Megumi's grave was filled in the next day. The reanimated corpse was nowhere to be found, so Natsuno and the others were sure that there were a lot of reanimated corpses, including their actions may have been watched by the other side. Sure enough, in the middle of the night, a little girl knocked on Natsuno's door. She said in ventriloquism that she was looking for Natsuno, but Natsuno hadn't come home yet. Natsuno's father saw that the little girl was strange and wanted her to come back later, but the little girl was crying and screaming. Finally, Natsuno's mother had no choice but to invite her in. The little girl's purpose was achieved, because they are reanimated corpses who are not invited by the owner of the house, is not allowed to enter other people's houses at will. All of the previous deceased had taken the initiative to invite people from the castle to visit their homes. The mystery gradually unraveled, and the doctor finally realized that he must go beyond the traditional thinking, so he plans to watch the patient in the middle of the night to see if something strange will happen or not, and whether Natsuno will be set up by the resurrected corpse. The above is from the amazing anime Shiki from 2010. How are the mysterious reanimated corpses born? And what are they doing? Many people should have heard of this anime, but delayed to see. I can responsibly say that this anime is really good. Highly recommended to watch the original film.